Welcome back for the final time for 2020. As always, I'm Luke Matthews, joined again by Chris Binns, so sit back, relax, and let's get into it for one last time. So I've said this a few times, but this one is definitely up there with them all. This is one of my favourite projects this year, and it's been a long time coming, but it's really, really special because it's not only a collaboration with Reebok, it's a collaboration with a third party, which is the iconic Kit Kat Klock.
I mean, this for us, we're big fans of Kit Kat Klock. We both got one ourselves at home, and we just thought it'd be really interesting to see if them guys were interested in doing something with us. So we reached out on Instagram, direct messages of course, and luckily they came back to us and we got the project over the line, and the results are amazing. I mean, we wanted to try and keep with what we've done with Classic by Size for the last 12 months and that project, but then give it a little bit of a twist, if you know what I mean. So we've obviously added in this kind of fur tongue here, and then we've got the iconic Kit Kat Klock branding in the footbed, if you can see that. So I'm really happy with how these have come out.
Yeah, so there's, as you know by the Kit Kat Klock brand, there's lots of personality in there, and you can instantly see all the DNA coming through the product, and we wanted to translate that back to this product. So you see the two E's of Reebok replaced by the two I's, which are probably the most, apart from the tail, the most iconic feature of the Klock, and also the playful nature, like Ben said, the fur on the tongue, French terry sock lining, and obviously then the embroidered cat on the heel and the tongue. So really, really impressed with how these have come to life, and also how they sort of fit within what we've done with Reebok this year as well. For the last 50 years, every 3 minutes somebody has bought a Kit Kat Klock somewhere in the world.
That's mental, isn't it?
It is mental when you think about it.
Which leads to our next thing. So
we couldn't do the shoe without doing the Klock, could we?
This is the first time we've seen it, so
this is my favourite bit, watching him do these things. It's not the scissors, but it's...
Oh, are you ready?
Yeah, go on then.
Look at that. So, for the first time ever, you've seen the size official Kit Kat Klock. Now there is a tail as well here, which I'll try and stick in there somehow.
So the best thing about this Klock, other than it just pure aesthetically, obviously, every single one is unique. They've been hydro-dipped into this sort of like orange fur-like material to tie back to the tongue, and it means every single Klock will be exclusively unique to you.
What's mad is like, and this excites me a lot, because this company's been around since 1932, and now we've got our own version of a size Kit Kat Klock, which is mental considering that we started this journey by just literally sending him a direct message on Instagram, and we've come out with this amazing product. So we're really, really proud of what we've done here.
So are you thinking of having it side by side with your current Klock, or in a different room?
I'll probably put it in a different room, I'll be honest. I'll put it in a different room, definitely. I mean, I'll put it in the trophy room, should we say.
What have you got a trophy for?
I don't know. I'll put it on the library.
This time last year, we launched the Alternative Marathon Pack, essentially shining a light on some of the lesser known marathons from across the world. This year, we've gone one step even further.
This pack consists of the mountain, the valley, and the volcano. The original pack came from a travel agent that we know based in Wigan called Lupin. They kind of organised tours to alternative places in the world, and that kind of made us think about, when you do a marathon pack, it's always around Boston or London or New York, and we wanted to do something really different and really push the boundaries a little bit on this pack. Places that we're talking about is the Pacaya Volcano, which is in Guatemala, Medellín, which everybody knows is in Colombia, and then Kathmandu, which is in Nepal.
I've not seen TRX for a long time, and for me, I'm super excited to see this iteration. We sort of took the palette from the Volcano, but you may have seen an iteration very, very similar to this in the archive. So obviously we've seen the original Boston Super launch quite recently. This is using a similar material to the original in terms of its makeup. And finally ZX 420, another one off the back of our two ZX models that we're really, really happy and proud to work on. To do another ZX model for this year is super exciting. I think when you see this pack as a collective together, it's super, super strong. Really excited to see this come to life.
I think for me, the fact that the ZX 420's come back is a massive thing. All the shoes are great. For me, this is the one. I'm not sure about you.
I think the TRX for me, but I could make a case for any of them. So next up is our first ever collaborative project with Klock's Originals, and it's on the Desert Trek.
This, again, I say this about every single project we've done this year, but this is genuinely one of the ones that I hold closest to my heart. I mean, as a kid growing up, I was a massive fan of bands like Oasis and the Vermin, and they always wore Klocks, and so did I, just off the back of that, do you mean? So this means a lot to me. I mean, there was somebody else who helped us on this project as well, so Jay, who's on our buying team as well, she kind of contributed a lot to this project as well, so we've got to give her a shout out there, but I think the results are amazing, and it comes back to what we've been doing all year, talking about the colour that's synonymous with size, and that's orange and black. So we're really, really happy with how this has come out.
Yes, I mean, we've seen various brands and partners work on this shoe over the last few years, and it's obviously taken quite an energetic theme. This one reminds me a little bit of the Supreme ones that from a few years ago in terms of colour blocking. What's really, really nice about this, and it's not this version unfortunately because it's been changed since, is it's actually going to be a bespoke Trek man on the back, and he's going to be actually carrying and hiking with the question mark, which is a really, really nice touch to it. I think they're going to look amazing on. They're actually super, super limited, so this is definitely one that you need to get in early on it because there's not many at all.
And when Luke says limited, this is a lot more limited than anything else we've done this year. It does look quite aggressive when you hold it in your hands, but honestly, when you get it in your feet, it looks apart, doesn't it? I mean, and I'm really excited about it.
So this has become a bit of a theme with these episodes, and it's signing off with what everyone's been waiting for, and we know. And there's only one left that people, well, there's maybe two, but there's only one left of this year's City Series you've not seen yet. And it's the Johannesburg, twinned with, obviously,
That'll be a drum roll for this one, because this is the last of the year, and this is an absolute banger again, I would say. It fits with the rest of the pack. I can't think of any other City Series that's been along with this colourway on it, and this one that's from the get-go has really excited me. One of the ones that I've been waiting to kind of come along, do you mean?
First and foremost, obviously the thought process of this started exactly the same with all of them. We start with Birmingham, we start with Cadbury's in 2010, and then it's how it evolves. Johannesburg jumped out for us. I think it was probably the first city we actually identified of all of them. And then it was instantly, when we both thought Johannesburg, we just thought of gold. I don't know why, it was just gold. You think of the team colours, you think of everything in around it, it just instantly jumped out. A real nice touch. It's the same way we've seen it on Adidas City Series shoes throughout the decades. It's actually shortened to Joburg on the side. We did sample it with Johannesburg as well, but to be honest, it just didn't look right. It was too long and the text was too small, and we wanted it to feel and look right. There's been hundreds of examples of cities being spelt how they would locally, and for us this just felt right. It felt like it fitted into literally decades and decades of other shoes previously, so we felt that was the sort of best way of bringing it to life and representing Johannesburg.
I think what we've done with the City Series is we wanted to make it a truly like global thing and really go to some epic, huge cities, and Joburg like kind of tops that off, doesn't it? I mean, and we've done Stuttgart, we've done Havana. Cordoba was a smaller city, but it had a massive history behind it.
For me, this is the ultimate crescendo for 2020. I think once you see this now, and you can finally see all 6 shoes together, it's amazing. It's incredible to see them. I think there's real diversity in the colours, obviously in the materials as well. It fits together perfect, and it just leads on to that really, really, really special one for next year as well. We're not answering any more questions about it. We're not giving any more clues about it. All we can say is, it will be, and I'm going out on a bit here, but I'm going to make sure it is the most premium City Series shoe there's ever been.
It's a worldie, man. It'll blow people's minds, I would say. Now we're at the end of this. Top cities from this pack.
I'd say Liverpool first, purely because it was the first one that came out, and it was the first one we had a proper launch on it. That morning when we turned up, we saw, I don't know, 500 people down Bolt Street. That epitomised everything about this community, that people coming together from around the world, and it literally was around the world. That for me is more than the shoe. So I think whatever shoe came first, whatever shoe was that moment for me would have been my number one.
I think for me, it's got to be Liverpool as well. I mean, more so because I've got a bit of history with the city, and I kind of had that kind of connection with it anyway. But then, like you said, that morning of what I was getting to see it come to life, and it was just that, it was madness, wasn't it? And it was a real moment, and I think you could never top that, do you mean? I think the rest of the cities, obviously we've had to get them out however we had to get them out, but that moment was the moment, wasn't it?
I think now we've got all 6 out, I'd love to know in the comments your 1 to 6. And I know everyone's different, but I like the reasons why as well, other than just colours, the memories with it, the cues, and I know we've not had proper cues this year, but we've had moments, haven't we? I'd love to know your 1 to 6, so let us know in the comments. Thank you for being part of every single one of these episodes. We really, really appreciate it, and throughout 2020, it's been an absolute pleasure to obviously share these moments with you all. As always, keep an eye on the site's social channels for everything else we've got coming through, and let us know your thoughts and feedback in the comments. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you next year.